Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here, and in this interview, I talked to Jesse Lakes from Geniuslink. We are going to talk about the email that Amazon Associates sent out to all associates on October 18th, 2019, about the disclosure that should be used and some FTC rules as well. So, Jesse and I have a disclaimer right before we get started, but it's worth it to note that Jesse and I were not associated with Amazon, Amazon Associates, or anything of that sort. We're not lawyers. We are just giving our opinion and we're sharing some information. Jesse's done a ton of research, talked to many other people. By the way, there's a couple links I'll put in the description so you can get a little bit more in depth in the written word. So Jesse wrote a blog post over on Geniuslink. I wrote something over on Niche Site Project. His is a little more in depth, more precise. It's longer. Mine's concise, shorter, and more straight to the point. But both give lots of great information. So I want to thank Jesse. If you happen to be new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. Have a look at some of the other videos. And if you dig what you see, please subscribe. And I will leave it at that. Thanks, Jesse. Let's hear the interview now. Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here from The Doug Show, a Niche Site Project. I'm here with my friend Jesse Lakes. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
And Jesse, for the people that don't know you, can you just give a quick intro on a couple things you're working on?
Sure. I've been obsessed with the affiliate marketing for close to 2 decades now. Is this a, yeah, really obsessed with affiliate marketing. Have done a lot in the what we call the geo-targeting and geo-fragmentation space. So Geniuslink is my core business. We allow affiliate publishers to use a single link to monetize that full audience they've got. And we also started working with Kit. Kit is a community of people sharing products they love, really geared towards more the influencer side. Both those, of course, are very focused on affiliate.
Awesome. And a quick note before we get started, Jesse and myself don't work for Amazon. We're not affiliated with them. We're giving some insights based on our understanding and opinion. So, we're not lawyers. You should consult your own lawyer. Jesse, do you have any other things to add on top of that?
Yeah, as much as we've researched this and looked into it to help our client base and help the different audiences, yeah, there are definitely some confusion on the internet around this, and hopefully we can help kind of cut through that. But again, yeah, do your due diligence. You're going to be better off because of it.
So basically, we're going to be talking about disclosure and stating that you can earn a commission if someone buys something through your Amazon link. So that is sort of the high level, just summary of what's going on.
Everyone's
So
favorite subject, right?
yeah, disclaimers. And from where I sit in my experience in the past, I completely messed this up multiple times in the past, especially when I was starting out, because I really didn't know any of the FTC rules, and I was just starting a little website. I didn't really think I needed to follow anything specific. Like, no one was really watching over what I was doing, but slowly, I've earned more money online, and it becomes a significant sort of and very important portion of my income. So it's really important to follow the rules by the FTC and from Amazon. And the difficult part, at least on the Amazon terms of service portion, at least for me, is it's kind of long and it's kind of confusing. So even if you dive into a certain part and read a sentence, it's like reading a contract, and we're not lawyers, so it's a little hard to understand. The FTC does say, I guess, in plain language, some of the rules, and that makes it a little bit easier. We're going to go over a lot of that stuff today. So the thing that spawned this conversation was, I think it was October 18th of 2019. Amazon sent an email out to all the people, all the participants in the Amazon Associate Program about disclosing their affiliate relationship. So I said a lot there. So Jesse, this is probably really important for your business. So what did you think when you got the email?
So honestly, my initial impression when I got the email is just, oh, okay, I'll deal with this later. I think it came in, Thursday or Friday afternoon. It was not the top mind. Of course, I scanned through it because you should always scan through the emails that you get from Amazon because you never know when it's going to be a 5-day mess that's just landed in your lap. But yeah, so just kind of scanned through it, didn't think twice really about it, and passed it off, and really didn't look at it until later the next week. As I start reading through it, there was a couple pieces there that were a little confusing to me, and again, kind of that rush of the normal day, I didn't think twice about them. It really wasn't until later that next week that I stopped and really read the email and really understood, okay, there's more here than seems to be. And from there, kind of course, flipped that curiosity switch and started digging in to try to understand exactly what was going on. At the same time, it seems like some other people in the online communities were doing about the same, and it started to kind of bubble up that there's this email that kind of reads as just a gentle reminder. There's really actually some depth here of some pretty important subjects.
Okay. And that's exactly what I did as well. So I read it for like whatever, Thursday, Friday afternoon. And then I was like, hey, wait a second. There were a couple things in there that maybe I'm not doing. So quick note on a few of the mistakes that I made in the past. So number one, I just had a disclosure page, right? So some of my first sites, I had a disclosure page, which someone had to go out of their way to find. And that's versus like having something very clear in plain language. Hey, I'm an affiliate and I'll earn a commission, right? And some of the changes that I made over time to make it, I guess, more apparent that I was an affiliate was to put a disclaimer or disclosure over in the sidebar or in the footer. And the big problem with those is it's possible for the visitor on the site to not see those before they've left your site, clicked an affiliate link, and made a purchase, and they didn't really understand that you were being compensated. So I mean, those are the big like mistakes that I see over and over again. Now, any observations on that as well, Jesse?
So yeah, just to take that one step further is typically what I've seen too is that when people do their disclosure in the sidebar or in the footer, they're using Amazon's language that they say you have to use as that disclosure. It's a one line now. As an Amazon Associates, I may earn from sales or something. I forget. I've got that language written down here somewhere here, but along those same lines. So typically that language is used, not something that's a bit more clear. So yeah, I've seen very similar things to what you just described.
So once we get sort of past that, the really interesting part, at least for me, was the quote link level disclosure to meet FTC requirements. Now, it's my opinion that this email was sent out to cover everything. So that includes like, Instagram influencers who are running ads, people with blogs, YouTube influencers, and there's probably some other social media aspects out there. So they're trying to cover everything. And to Amazon Associates' credit, the email was fairly short and it was written in plain language. So if you read it a couple of times, most people would understand what's going on. So anyway, link level disclosure. So I started to sort of panic from a just logistics standpoint, like, okay, I have, 2,000 posts across a couple sites. Each one of those posts may have, I don't know, 15 affiliate links. And all of a sudden I have kind of a big problem to solve. Even though, fixing one link is not a big deal, fixing many thousand is a big deal. So
Absolutely.
link level disclosure. What's your take on that, Jesse?
So yeah, when I read link level disclosure, my mind instantly goes to social media. Just as you said, Amazon affiliate program, associates program covers lots of different types of people, referring products, etc. So when I read link level, okay, yeah, that refers specifically to the people on Twitter, Facebook, etc., not necessarily to the bloggers. So that was the cognitive disconnect on my side. But that was also pretty much the huge mistake, is that no, it really is referring to everyone. You need a quote unquote link level disclosure.
Okay. So with that said, and I'm just going to ask, like, so you're saying on a blog post, every single one of the links should say like hashtag ad or I'm earning a commission or whatever. That's your strict Yeah, but what are you saying here?
So that really gets to the crux of this, right? So I feel like this note and the research has cleared up a ton of stuff, but there's one kind of last question to be answered, and is that, on a longer form piece of content, do you need a disclosure at every single link? And unfortunately, while the FTC website does a pretty good job, I still found it a little confusing to read exactly what they said. So if you give me just a second, I will find that. So they say in some instances, like when the affiliate has embedded in your product review, a single disclosure may be adequate. When the review has a clear and conspicuous disclosure of your relationship and the reader can see both the review containing that disclosure and the link in the same time, readers have the information they need. So at a high level, this is trying to say, okay, one disclosure at the site level is all you need. But if you read that certain sentence, a single disclosure may be adequate. That gives you the idea that, okay, one web page, many affiliate links, one disclosure, everyone's happy. But if you read a little bit further and read, really paying attention here, the reader can see both the review containing that disclosure and the link at the same time. So, okay, well, a longer form piece, you have to scroll. So if it sits at the top of the page and you start to scroll, then obviously you can't see both at the same time. Maybe if you leave it in the sidebar, that's okay. But remember, if you're on mobile, typically the sidebar is going to get pushed to the bottom. So once again, as much as we've made huge progress in understanding what's going on here, there's still definitely a big question. So I don't think Amazon says it clearly. I don't think the FTC says it clearly, but I think the general consensus of some of the bigger sites starts to show a general trend. So again, don't take this as the gospel. This isn't written in stone, but it seems to be that a very clear disclosure at the top of a longer form piece of content should be adequate. License to change as more stuff comes through because it's not clearly defined, but I'm taking that as the best practice for moving forward.
Okay. And I'll point people in the direction of the post that you wrote, Jesse. You do have examples from the Wirecutter, Tech Radar, Windows Central, Digital Trends, CNET, and they generally, they're putting a clear disclosure at the top of their longer form content. And I think the closest to like the sort of sites that I work with and a lot of the viewers work with is the Wirecutter, product reviews, long form. And I was just thinking, hey, we could kind of follow the lead of something like the Wirecutter. In some cases, right, we can't go look and see what the Wirecutter is doing and then follow those rules. But in this case, they're trying to follow FTC requirements. Amazon sent the email so that they were adhering to FTC requirements. At least that's my take, right? Amazon's trying to make sure their affiliates are following the rules so Amazon doesn't get in trouble, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of that weird hierarchy where FTC looks down at Amazon. Amazon's in charge of policing its affiliates. So, supposedly there's over 1 million different affiliates now in Amazon's associates program. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of people to take control of. And I think that's why we're seeing, more of that kind of black and white aspect to compliance, which that's another conversation.
Yeah. And
so
go ahead.
I was just going to say one step back. I think it's really important to talk about in that disclosure. Yes, the position of the disclosure is important, but also that verbiage of the disclosure is important. And as in my research, just mentioning that you're an affiliate, that doesn't seem to be enough. There needs to be some hint at the financial relationship of that. So earning an affiliate commission or earning revenue or some sort of word or phrase that implies there's a financial relationship seems to be what's most important. Just acknowledging that there's a relationship, FTC claims that a lay reader doesn't understand what affiliate really means. And that's fair. We eat, breathe, sleep affiliate. We understand very clearly that relationship is there. But does your mom, does your grandma, etc.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, we understand it. We're using it in our, daily conversations all the time. But yeah, my mom has no idea like what I do. She's like,
affiliate.
He works on the computer, he works on the computer and, they'll call me for tech support still. So for the last
Thanks, Mom.
25 years. Yeah. So I guess any other, thoughts specifically on like the verbiage or placement or anything like that?
So I think taking a big step back, right? We talked about the link level stuff, and that implies the site level stuff. So again, FTC disclosure is one thing. Amazon disclosure is something completely different. And again, my biggest mistake was mashing those two together, thinking that it was just a single disclosure, and it's not. FTC applies to every affiliate, Amazon included, and it needs to be, at the top of the page, before the link, or at a bare minimum immediately after a link. Amazon disclosure can be a bit buried. It can be on that disclosure page, etc. It needs to have a very specific line as well. So site level covers Amazon or channel if you're on social media. And every page, every post, every tweet needs to have that other FTC disclosure. So as black and white as that is, it's something that we all need to really pay attention to, because that seems to be the new norm. It seems to be something that's very important to Amazon. Obviously, if they sent this email, something we can probably see some more enforcement and compliance coming because of. So likely some sort of little grace period here, but from what I'm reading, this is really important to Amazon, and they're going to start cracking down. So again, if there's a million associates out there they need to watch, and if they can trim the fat and find the people that aren't following attention, are going to get them in trouble, they're probably going to do that.
And actually, that confused me just a little bit. So which is good, because I'm coming at it generally uninformed, and you did a lot more research than I did. So, I guess I was thinking, hey, if I have that Amazon disclosure at the top, generally, like, that's going to be fine. That's going to cover me, because all the affiliate links are showing up below that. If a person lands on the page, they don't have to go all the way to the footer. They see, hey, I get a commission from Amazon if you buy through my affiliate link. So is that okay? Or does there need to be an additional FTC, as you mentioned?
So the Amazon disclosure says, as an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases, right? So there's that hint of the financial relationship, et cetera. So that should work. But I don't see that very often at the top. So, again, I'm not FTC makes these rules. FTC polices this. I can't tell you for sure, but it has all the key pieces that you want to see, but I'm not seeing that regularly placed at the top of the page, et cetera. I typically see the Amazon associates disclosure that's supposed to be at site level, put at site level. Yeah, there are crossover. Yeah, that Venn diagram does have some crossover there. I see how it could be used there, because it does have the keywords. I don't see it very, very common. Hopefully that clarifies. Sorry, that's not a perfect black and white answer.
Yes, that's clear. And I was going to say, it's rare that I'm ahead of the curve. But I think for the last 18 months to 2 years, I have placed this pretty close to that one-liner. Mine was a little bit longer, but at the top of the content, it's the title, and then there'll be a disclosure, basically. So headline, Perfect. Disclosure, and then after that is all the content. And then, whatever they sent out as an Amazon associate, I earned from qualifying purchases. I even shortened it and just put a link to the full disclosure statement site-wide. So, and that's what I've been advising people. A lot of folks were like, oh, it's in the sidebar, it's in the footer. But like I said, one of these rare times I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. So
nice job.
Good about that. Yeah, I didn't need to make any major changes other than just shorten the copy on that. So you ran across some frequently asked questions, and I think some of these are obviously pretty common. They're frequently asked, but they're also on the FTC website. So let's go through a few of those.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's some good stuff in there. I learned a lot from the FTC website, and especially the FAQ.
So first one is people that don't live in the US, and they're like, hey, the FTC, we don't care. So do people outside of the US still have to follow these rules?
Excellent question. Yes, if you're using the Amazon.com associates program, Amazon.com is under the FTC's rule. So you won't get in trouble from the FTC. You're going to get in trouble from Amazon.com. If that makes up any portion of the commission of your revenue that's important to you, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Taking that one step further, it was really interesting. There was an article that just came out the other day. I believe it was Performance Insider, a great blog based out of the UK. It talked about this ASA, which is their authority, the UK advertising watchdog. And the ASA had a big to do about this blog that had an affiliate link, and that they're now saying that affiliate links inside blogs need to have a disclosure in close proximity as well. So FTC is saying it, for US based companies, and therefore anyone that's using that affiliate program. But we're seeing very similar behavior coming from the UK. And again, I have not researched this as much as I probably should. I'm guessing there's other entities out there as well that would really recommend or strongly recommend a disclosure at this link level. So maybe you don't have to do it for the FTC's point, but I really encourage you to do it as a general best practice, to ensure those Amazon.com commissions keep coming, as well as compliance with other government entities that you may or may not know about that have similar requirements. It's just a good thing to do.
And when I'm doing research for a product, I know I would like to know if the person is getting compensated, because then I understand their incentive and their biases and stuff like that, which at this point now I just suspect everyone is trying to trick me, which is probably it's not a good way to live your life. But that's just
so yeah. Just to hit that point real quick, and this is, I think, something that's really important, is that FTC has it very black and white. Right? If you're earning money, then you have to put this disclosure, and they assume that you're doing it for the money. But so many of us do authority sites or niche sites on subjects or industries that we actually enjoy, at least to some degree. It makes writing the content that much easier, makes reviewing the products that much easier. And the whole, I guess, Pat Flynn thing as well, talking about having that authenticity when you're promoting those products. So many of us are only really recommending or talking about products that we do truly appreciate. But unfortunately, that's still, that's kind of that gray area, but you have to be black and white. If there is an affiliate link, you have to follow the FTC, even if you use that product every day. Recommend it, verbally to your friends, etc. If your website recommends it and has that affiliate link, you've got to use that, or you have to include that disclosure.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Little rant.
No, and that's perfect, and it, like you said, it fits in exactly with what I was saying, where I'm just like, I don't know if I trust someone's opinion if they're getting compensated for it, unless, right, like Pat Flynn, or hopefully like the products that I recommend, I use them, and I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't. And then further, sometimes I talk bad about products, which I think gives a little bit more credibility, at least
Absolutely.
in the internet marketing area, where everyone's like, hey, every product's great, you should buy this. Okay, so a couple other questions here. So you mentioned, is affiliate link by itself adequate? What about a buy now button? And what do you think, Jesse?
So again, I would, with my background, my knowledge, I would think that's fine. But again, we talked about, do our moms know that what affiliate means, affiliate enough there? And the FTC kind of agrees with that earlier comment where, that lay person doesn't necessarily know what an affiliate relationship means, that there's a financial aspect to that. So unfortunately, FTC spells out pretty clearly that affiliate by itself is not enough of a disclosure. Affiliate link, affiliate, buy now button, that doesn't work.
Okay. And then sort of related, but interesting question. So what if I'm including links to products or retailers as a convenience, but I'm not getting paid for them? Do we have to disclose anything there?
Yeah, this goes back to that whole, that litmus test. Is there a financial aspect to it, right? Is it a sponsored ad? Did the brand tell you about those products beforehand or give you one? Or is there some other financial relationship outside of affiliate? Or is an affiliate link? If that's the case, yes, you have to disclose it. But, I have no relationship here, but this is the best, whiteboard eraser, cleanser. I don't have to disclose that because there's no relationship whatsoever for this product.
Cool. And there was an interesting story that you sent me the other day, which I'm not sure if it's linked in your article, but we could mention it briefly here, where a blogger mentioned a product that they used and they liked, and in the past they were paid and they had an affiliate type relationship, but in the in the specific case they weren't paid, there was no agreement made, and they just liked the product and they mentioned it. So I thought that story was kind of strange, but can you fill in a few of the details I left out there?
Yeah, and that's kind of the story I also alluded to earlier, where the UK agency seems to be kind of taking a big step forward on that as well. And there was at the end of the story, I'm sure you read, there's a handful of different people across the industry kind of weighing in on it. And it's definitely controversial. There's a lot of different opinions there. Those are the hard ones, right? Yeah, the black and white is easy, but yeah, because there was a relationship before, it was the same brand. Is there still that relationship where they're getting compensated? If you look at it a case by case basis, it's kind of leans one way, but if you look at it as a whole, it leans the other way. So I I would always disclose. It just seems to be the safer way to go. Obviously, getting in trouble or losing your Amazon.com commissions is can be catastrophic for your site. So better to be ahead of the curve, go a little bit overboard in your disclosures, etc. Better to trend on the safer side.
Yeah, and I found that surprising. Like you said, it's a bit controversial. And I mean, the big thing is like if you like a product and you happen to have had a relationship in the past, then you continually in the future always have to mention that. That just doesn't make sense to me at all,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously, like business relationships end, and it was clearly disconnected. So yeah, I didn't agree with that decision there. So okay, last couple coming up here. So it's clear on this is one of the frequently asked questions again. So it's clear that what's on my website is a paid advertisement, not my own endorsement or review of the product. Do I still have to disclose that I get a commission if people click through my website to the product?
Yeah. So this again kind of gets into there's this whole background, right, with influencers and sponsored deals, et cetera. And it happens in websites as well, where you can get someone that's paying for an article, and et cetera. So there's that little bit of bleed over area now where is a sponsored content the same as an affiliate link versus a content editorial piece. And the FTC, again, in general, my thought is that if there's some financial relationship, you should disclose it, even if it's a step or two removed. But they just say if it's clear that what's on your site is a paid advertisement, you don't have to make additional disclosures. So if it's outlined in blue and there's an ad, text or whatever it is, or even on podcasts, right, when it moves to a different type of music and it's a different voiceover or whatever. Those are relatively clear. Grant, I'm not an expert in podcasting ads either, but it just what they're saying is that if it's very clear that it's an ad, okay, you can leave it at that. But again, if you're really kind of bleeding those different pieces together, where you're working with back to the other article, if you're working with a brand for a sponsored piece of content, and then you're talking about that brand and other bits and pieces, again, be safe. I'd really encourage you to go the extra mile and include the disclosures anywhere that comes up. It's dealing with these legal hassles and dealing with resurrecting a killed off Amazon.com account can just be a massive waste of time for hashtag ad, 3 characters. Yes, it may not look ideal, but giving that extra disclosure is just huge for that authenticity, for that buyer trust, for the long-term health and relationship. So
Indeed. Yeah. And last one here is would hashtag ambassador or hashtag brand ambassador work in a tweet or Instagram or any kind of, microblogging, mini, social media?
I think this kind of falls under that whole piece of, does affiliate work, right? Affiliate's the easy one we go to. Ambassadors, it's a cool term, but again, doesn't really disclose that financial relationship probably as clearly as the FTC would like. Again, does your mom know that you're being paid as an ambassador? Is that really distinguished in a very clear way? And I would lean towards ad makes sense. Advertisement, people are very familiar with that. Sponsored, makes sense. There's that financial disclosure aspect of it that's just one degree away. But affiliate, ambassador, I don't think that's clear enough. It seems the FTC doesn't think that's clear enough. Would really encourage you to move to stronger hashtags or disclosures for your site.
Okay, cool. Any other thoughts as we're winding down, Jesse?
So I thought it was really fascinating. Kind of, this is somewhat of a rumor of why this all came up, and it seems that the FTC got some complaint by a relatively large watchdog, a consumer watchdog, in regards to Prime Day last year, or this year, sorry, in, what was that, July. So the complaint that I found was this watchdog saw tons of different emails, of social media posts, et cetera, talking about all these different deals going on Prime Day. And after a little bit of digging, it's relatively easy to identify what's an affiliate link. You just look for that tag equals and inside that redirected link. And they found numerous examples of affiliate links being used, and were pretty upset about it. They thought that they were not disclosed nearly as well as they should be, or even at all. So they wrote a pretty harsh letter to the FTC, strongly recommending the FTC, talk to the examples they have, but also really clamp down on Amazon. Amazon seems to be getting a lot of attention from a lot of different people at the moment, but some additional FTC attention is probably not what they want right now. That really kind of seems to make sense. So I think it really kind of shows that full circle that, you may think that you're no one, but some person that's on your email list may actually have a tie to a consumer watchdog, and may include you as one example in this bigger picture that can roll up to a government agency that can really cause us as affiliate marketers a lot of grief, and Amazon in general, that seems to rely somewhat heavily still on affiliate marketing as a source of traffic, some pain as well. So your actions matter, no matter how big or small you are. It gets rolled up and gets passed on, especially when it's fragrant, not understanding or ignoring what the FTC's laws clearly are. So yeah, I thought that was good to kind of understand what's going on in that backstory, at least for me, to see that bigger picture.
Yeah, very interesting. And I know Amazon's so big. A lot of people like to complain about big things out there, big companies, and some people feel like they're mistreated or something like that as associates out there. But like you said, there's a pretty clear cause and effect situation happening here, and it's fairly straightforward to add your disclosure. Quick note from a just implementation standpoint: one of the easiest ways that you can get this done, I know not all themes will allow you, like WordPress themes will allow you to just like insert text wherever you want. Sometimes it gets confusing. There's a free plugin called Ad Inserter, and there's a paid version, but the free one will do just fine. Typically, people insert display ads, like you may imagine from the name, but basically all it does is inject code into a certain point that you want it to go on your pages or post or wherever. And you can just put that one liner in before the content. You could put it in after the second paragraph or whatever. Actually, that's what I do. I put it in a paragraph or two in, so it's not like right at the very top. So I misspoke earlier. I adjusted it after this thing came out because I knew that no affiliate links are in the first like sentence or something. So as long as you put it in near the top or in the same view, right? So as long as it's in the same view, you should be okay. You just put that one liner in. I have a link to the full disclosure page that has like the longer like privacy policy and just other associations, and that's how I handle it. So super easy. It will take you about, I don't know, 5 minutes, free plugin. So super easy.
5 minutes free plugin, losing your Amazon.com commissions. Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So pretty straightforward. All right,
Awesome.
Jesse. Well, thanks a lot. Really appreciate your time and expertise and all the research you did on this topic.
Yeah, happy to help keep people out of the bad side of Amazon and the bad side of FTC. Happy to help however we can.
Thanks again to Jesse. I appreciate the time. It's always cool to talk to you, man. Really do appreciate it. And I will give a plug to Geniuslink. I use it for like geo-targeting my Amazon affiliate traffic. So if someone lands on one of my affiliate sites and they happen to be located not in the US, they will be routed properly most of the time to a corresponding product over on their like Amazon. So it allows you, in summary, it allows you to earn money from your international traffic, assuming there's an Amazon associate program and you have enough traffic from that geography. So it's been a great move for me. I immediately like increased my earnings few $100s per month with the same amount of traffic, no other changes, just targeting and being able to monetize international traffic. So great tool there. There are, some other functionality which is really helpful which is, I think the number one other thing is you get a little bit more granularity on like the metrics and the tracking and the clicks and all that stuff. You can check out the documentation to see exactly what you find out. But the biggest thing is you get a little notice if the product is out of stock or it no longer exists or it's a bad link, something like that, and someone clicks on it, you get a notification on your Geniuslink dashboard so you can do something about it. So very big deal there. When you have a big site like I do, it is easy, and it basically always happens where products go out of stock or they're discontinued or something like that when there are many thousands of products that are linked from your site. So worth it to check out. The other thing is the blog is fantastic over at Geniuslink. So definitely check it out. They interview like people in our space, right? So Dom Wells was featured on there, Matt Allen from Dumb Passive Income, and many, many other folks, but those were the two that I happened to see just a few minutes ago. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, thanks for checking out the interview.